All right, guys. Yeah, that's all right. So we went through a lot of stuff, right? What we sell, what PMO does, what are the different roles. I think we keep drugs out of the office, please.
Just out of
Great. What we sell, what services we provide, what roles are covered in PMO. Sample SOWs, how to read them, change orders, what we do with and how we do change orders. Does everybody understand the change order process? Did I cover that well enough?
Yes.
Do they go to how they're written up, all that kind of stuff? Yeah,
I
no.
kind of have a question.
Okay.
Um,
Well, make sure.
The one call that I seem to be having the most problems with is the Susan Loggins call. And they seem, and maybe it's because I'm not understanding the scope of work, and if I went back to it now I would, but I don't have it in front of me. But my understanding is they bought like so many hours, and we kind of went over the scope of work, which was supposed to be to install the new server, hard drives, operating system, and then have the RIM team dial in, all within so many hours. Now they're saying they want us to do a whole lot more outside, which I know you know, and they said that they signed a change order authorizing more hours, but there was never any clarification on like a new scope of work.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So we need to go get us a change order that clarifies the scope of work.
And of course, they told me they can't find the change order, so I'm still.
If they can't find it, then it probably doesn't exist, and so I would say let's just do it again.
Okay,
Just do it again. You gotta have it. If we don't have it, we can't work.
And if they won't sign it, then you just tell them you can't do it.
Sorry, I can't provide service.
so if they,
Like in this example she's talking about,
We
we've
talked
told
about
them,
it out there.
you know, I mean, we've told them, we're not coming back until you sign this.
And if they don't wanna sign it, then that's it,
No
and
problem.
we don't need to talk anymore.
Exactly. We'll close the call
Move on
and
to the
carry
next
on
one.
for what we did.
yeah, I guess I'm just kind of looking at it from a next time this happens.
Well, next time this happens, you're gonna be on the phone with that technician earlier. You're
Yeah.
gonna know it immediately. You're gonna call the end user and say, hey, Mr. End User, he's on site to install an OS and there's no OS disk.
Right.
We obviously cannot proceed. I need to send my technician home. Once my technician gets home and he's gonna come back to install the OS, that time is now billable because he spent his time to install OS, waiting for you to find the OS.
Right.
Since you can't find it, now he's gonna come back another time. That's a change order. So before I schedule him again, I'm gonna send you this document, which is a change order. And in that change order, it's gonna describe what he's gonna do and the cost of what he's gonna do. I need you to sign it and agree to it before he comes back to sign it.
And at that point, do we contact the technicians, or do we hand that back over to the PC who hands it over
No,
to
you,
the
at that
dispatch?
point, when it gets to change order and kinda convoluted, at
We
that
have it.
point, you really got it.
Okay.
You really got it. At that point, it's yours to the
Okay.
You can easily direct a PC to go ahead and make the phone call, sure, go
But
ahead
there's
and
no
do it.
reason.
But at that level, when it's that screwed up, yeah, you probably want to talk. Okay. Other questions? Everything else clear on SOW? Everything else clear on change orders? Change orders are very, very important. Brooke, you've been quiet. Any questions?
No
You're
question.
just very quiet.
I'm just listening and taking it all in.
All right.
She's been behind me for like a
So once
month and I
we-
didn't even know she was there.
Once we do that change order, once we get the change order and we get the confirmation either via email with a latter response back, via fax or whatever with a signed signature, do we then create the new SOW?
Yeah, you're then gonna.
Create the new
We'll go through
SOW.
that in here, but you're gonna add that to the notes, and you're gonna dispatch that.
Right, dispatch, but then you still change the SOW as well, correct?
Well, you change the SOW by getting that change order signed.
So
And
you
then
actually don't
take that-
alter the verbiage in there, the verbiage is then altered as like a sub
Right,
via the change order.
The change order then gets attached to the SOW, and it'll say something
Okay.
like, adding hours or changing schedule or
Okay.
adding this task or whatever it may be. And then whatever it is, you're then putting it into the service call so it then gets to the technician.
Okay, so it's like reference per the steps for the SOW.
Correct, that's what the change order would be.
Okay.
Yep. All right, other questions on change orders and SOWs? Very, very complicated, very, very convoluted, but the very essential pieces,
Are they really that hard though, on all reality?
No, it's just that they always happen.
Right.
There's always an issue. No matter what you do, there's always an issue. Gotta be ready for the issue. And
Can
when
you-
the issue happens, you gotta document.
Would you mind explaining to me the number that we are in, say, just as an example, the CDW, which we're already talking about now, in the subcontractor I-9 clarification? So is it the main business and then it's CDW and then CDW us and then us technicians? You know what I mean? In that
In
type.
terms of chain of work?
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
would? Yeah, so end user calls CDW or CDW calls end user and says, hey, I'm interested in something.
Mhm.
CDW sells it to them. CDW, when they sell that thing, it is a Barrister thing that they're selling,
Mhm.
okay? CDW is a company, or any of our customers, right, any of our partners. They don't manufacture or do what we do, right? So when they sell it, they're selling it as us, right? They're selling, just like Kmart sells Martha Stewart, right? CDW sells Barrister, okay? It's a product that they
So,
offer.
for example, Dell.
Mhm.
So Dell has it and they have warranties that go with it, and the warranty then goes to like a CDW after when someone wants to sell you a warranty that's out of your 1 year, whatever that you've already got, they're selling you that warranty that is obviously now not a Dell technician, but is another technician. Okay, am I going on the
You're
right page?
close, you kinda.
Can you follow that up from
Yeah,
there,
so
that way I
the-
get an idea?
So Dell, couple of corrections.
Or HP, whatever,
Yeah,
just
there's no,
something.
Dell's a poor example just because Dell does their own.
Okay.
Right, so everybody else doesn't. Dell doesn't have resellers. Dell sells Dell. Everybody else can sell through a CDW. So like CDW can't sell Dell. Okay, I know that's just a
Warranties and
specific
stuff?
deal. Right, they can't sell Dell. Dell doesn't allow wholesalers to resell their product.
Okay,
Okay, just their business model.
Okay.
Right? Everybody else, yes, right? So HP makes a computer.
Okay.
HP allows CDW to sell it. CDW sells it to an end user.
they
Okay?
allow CDW to sell the computer,
Yes.
and how do they sell, and this is through like we're gonna buy 1,200 computers, and rather than buying 1,200 computers directly from Dell, they're gonna buy it from this company because they have the capacity to be able to house that many?
Yeah, and it probably can get a cheaper rate and probably can't buy it directly from HP, right? You
Okay.
can go to HP's website and buy a computer, but you're gonna get it for a substantially discounted price from CDW.
Okay,
HP doesn't wanna sell to you. HP wants to sell one to you, doesn't wanna sell one to you, one to Krista, and one to Tiana. They don't
Mhm.
wanna manage 310 transactions.
Mhm.
They wanna sell to Candace and sell her 5,000.
and let Candace.
Candace sell to
Everybody.
Brooke, Shannon, Tiana, Krista, you, and everybody else who wants one. They don't wanna manage individual end users, right, individual consumers. They wanna manage one wholesale, reseller, CDW.
So is this is this like an online store
CDW?
type stuff, or, yes?
No, there are 3,000 sales guys on a phone, teleselling in those small and medium businesses all over the US.
Okay.
So they got a big, huge call center like we do, except it's
Mhm.
probably 10 times as big. It's 3 floors in Chicago, and it's just people dialing customers. Hey, need computers. Hey, need, laptops.
We just
Hey.
bought 10,000
Right.
so we can get it to you for $100 cheaper than what you're gonna go and buy it online anyways.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay, it makes sense now. They
That's
still
it.
need to have and sell the warranties that go along with those.
Yes, except warranties are done a little bit different. HP maintains its own warranty, okay? So when you buy a HP
Printer,
printer, it comes with a 1-year care pack,
right,
okay? What they call their warranties is a care pack. That's what it comes with.
Mhm.
Inside the sales price is a 1-year care pack. You can buy an add-on to that. You can buy a 2-year warranty, a 3-year warranty, a 4-year warranty. Okay? Those warranties are all delivered by HP.
Okay.
Those are all HP warranties.
Okay,
Okay? When you go to CDW, so those are all HP warranties. HP can determine who they dispatch to go do that work.
right,
They may use a barrister, they do. They may use other companies, they may use their own employees.
okay,
Depends. That's a contract barrister has with
Right.
HP, wouldn't involve CDW.
okay,
Okay? The other thing that can happen is you can go to CDW and say, I have 100 PCs. I want warranties on them. Oh, okay, well, let me sell you a barrister warranty. Okay, so then it's a barrister warranty, not an HP warranty.
okay,
Okay, they can sell a barrister warranty. A barrister warranty is gonna be cheaper than an HP warranty, but it's barrister warranty, not an HP. Okay?
right,
And would those specifically be delivered by barrister, okay? The HP warranties, you typically can only buy at time of sale, okay? So you can't buy a PC today and a year from now buy an HP warranty. You can only buy that HP warranty when you buy that PC.
like buying a new car.
Correct. A barrister warranty, you can buy whenever you want. That thing could be 2 months old, or it could be 20 years old. Also a warranty.
Really?
So my sale, whereas HP's warranty sale is one-off, one PC at time of sale, mine is, I'm gonna come and just sell you a warranty, no matter what equipment you have. Okay, HP's looking for it as part of the new product sale. We're looking at it from a perspective of, we just want the warranty business, we don't care about the product sale. Different mindset.
Right,
Okay. Make sense?
yeah, it does,
Okay.
that makes a lot of sense.
All of that though, outside of your realm of purview. That's all commercial.
Hi.
We don't see any of that.
Right. It's just, I think it's good to, for me personally, to understand what they're doing and kind of get an idea of what everybody else is going through too, it's similar, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. They have specifically different
Right.
challenges and benefits.
Well, it also kind of gives me more of an insight to what exactly specifically, I mean, I get what Barrister does, but what chain they have in the whole complete process of their name, of who,
Sure.
I mean, I don't know how anybody else feels, but who now I am right now representing.
Right.
So it kind of gives me a better idea.
Yeah,
That's all.
exactly. Good questions. I just didn't want you to get confused and think that.
Yeah. No, I got it. I just kind of want to get an idea of who I work for and, you know what I mean?
The devil.
Oh man, I spent some hours with some text, you know, on the phone,
The blue devil.
really wanting to kill him and ask him, don't you speak English?
Alright, other questions on what we talked about this morning? Any other questions? Alright, so now we're gonna get into the blocking and tackling of what we do, okay?
Blocking and tackling.
Yeah.
Blocking and tackling.
Weird analogy.
Alright, so, sales is out there, right? Sales is chasing sales is chasing customers, working with partners, trying to drum up new business, okay? Customer gets interested, they go through one of the services we sell, they propose it via a statement of work or a non-custom EDC, right? Customer buys it, okay? Customer says, I want that, okay? Sign the agreements, all right. So what PMO gets, what happens when that happens? I guess, what happens when a customer signs up, okay? That information goes over to sales. Sales is responsible for collecting the SOW, making sure they have everything, filling out what's called a sales to operations checklist, and then lastly, if required, getting a purchase order. Okay, those 3 things, okay? They take those 3 things and they send it into our contracts department, okay? Contracts department is responsible for validating all of that information, okay? Making sure everything looks right, setting up the rates, and getting it set up in our system of record, okay? We call it Clearview, okay? They get it all set up, get the customer engaged, get the pricing set up in the system, all that kind of stuff, okay? Once they do that, it comes out of there with what's called a customer number, okay? That customer number is kind of the customer key, okay? That's how a customer would identify themselves, right? How we identify work orders in our system, okay? All right, customer number comes over and it gets sent all that information along with the customer number, right? PO, SOW, sales to ops, now customer number, gets sent by contracts to PMO, okay, to the assigned PM, okay? Contracts, in working with me, is the one who assigns PMs, okay? So contracts turns to me and they know for certain customers, they go to certain people, but otherwise will look at me and say, okay, who does this go to, okay, if I haven't already told you. All right, so now project manager's assigned, okay? Project manager is responsible for, at that moment, the moment they receive that email, taking the sales to ops, the purchase order, and the SOW, reviewing all of it, and understanding what they're supposed to go do, okay? Remember, every service that we sell, while I say we sell deployment, every single deployment we sell is different, right? The specific tasks that we have to go do, the deliverables that we have to return, the schedule that we live to, all those different things are different for every SOW.
And does that email contain all of those three things?
Yes, it's gonna contain that SOW that we went through,
Okay.
okay? One of those SOWs, okay? Either our template, the customer template, or it's gonna be the CDW, right? So they're gonna send that over. Project manager owns taking all that information and getting it all understood, okay? They're gonna, once they get that all understood, inside of a day, they're gonna reach out to the end user and the partner, depending on the contact method, okay? And that'll be indicated in the sales to ops. And they're gonna reach out to that end user and schedule what we call a kickoff call, okay? That kickoff call is gonna go through everything that we're gonna do, okay? And we got a document in here that we're gonna get to in a second that walks you through that phone call. Here's every possible variable we've thought of so far. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, all the way through. So that way we know what we have to go do. Okay? So that's kind of that PM's first process. Take the SOW and the sales to ops, digest it, understand what it means. Any questions, come ask. No questions, okay, you understand what it means, go ahead and contact the customer to get a kickoff schedule. Okay? All right. So let's go through the sales to ops document. Well, I think I have the purchase order first, right? What's first in Neil's packet, the purchase order or sales?
Purchase order, but you can look at that. That's the one I look at. Invoice.
the exact
Yeah,
same
Yeah,
one.
I printed another one, and the reason I printed another one, this purchase order goes with the sales to ops. So I just kind of wanted you guys to see the two of them together.
I thought it was.
The first PO we did was Lyric Opera, this one is CME Associates.
231, 131, and then that. Okay, so where are we at now? I'm sorry. My papers were.
CME Associates and sales to ops. So you should see PO document.
That's gonna
You
be
should
after the
see
PO
sales
document that
tax.
we already were reviewing
Right,
earlier.
it should be right after it.
Sample PO.
Sample PO, should say CME
Associates,
Associates.
okay, got it.
Yep. And then right behind that is gonna be the sales to operations checklist. Those are the two documents we're looking at.
Okay.
Something like that. Okay. All right, everybody got it? We good? Okay. All right, so sales is responsible for filling out the sales to ops checklist, right? But remember, for a PM, whereas in commercial world, the sales to ops is the Bible, in project world, sales to ops is a guide, and that's it, okay? The SOW is the Bible, okay? So what the sales to ops checklist is gonna tell you when it originated, it's gonna tell you who the end user name is, right? In this case, CME Associates. Is this a newer or a revision, okay? In PM world, we should almost never have a revised sales to ops. Sales is gonna produce a sales to ops once, and then from that moment on, the PM owns it, right? There's no need to go back for a new sales tax, PM owns it, okay, and manages it, all right? It's gonna tell you who the sales rep is.
So this is it the project managers who do this, or no?
No, sales does this. This
Okay.
is what sales sends you.
Okay,
Okay, sales sends you this, the PO, and the SOW,
okay,
okay? All right, sales to ops, you get the partner rep, okay, who's the account rep for the partner, okay? And then there's gonna be a section called top notes, okay? Top notes is just gonna have a copy and paste from the SOW document. That's all it is. It's nothing magic, it's just a copy and paste from the SOW. Okay? On the second page, it's gonna give you the partner information and address. It's gonna give you an AP contact, we really just use that in accounting. And then it'll give you the end user information. Okay, so you're gonna have two contacts on this project, and this is almost everything we do. We have two contacts. One is the partner contact, and one is the end user contact, right? Partner contact, it's any questions about contracts or scope change or pricing or any of that, that all goes to the partner contact. Typically, any type of on-site scheduling, details around scope, all that kind of stuff, goes to an end user contact. Okay, that makes sense? Okay.
so the contact would be the Kim, Sammy,
Yeah, the partner
would be
contact.
Kim Zakra, whatever it is.
Kim Mazaraka.
Okay, and Greg Marshuk, that's who we should have that phone call with.
Greg Marshuk is the end user contact, correct,
Okay,
correct. So CDW contact is Kim, end user contact is Greg.
okay,
Okay. For the CDW contracts, we have our kickoff calls with both parties. So on the kickoff call is the account manager and the end user, okay?
right, right.
We can have have a kickoff call with just an end user, okay? CDW is a little tricky, okay? Every account manager is different. Some of them want to be involved every day, every moment of the project. Some of them want to sell it once and never hear from you again, okay? So it completely depends on the account manager.
Right, but
You
you,
really scope that out, you really, go ahead.
you did say that earlier, right, though, that CDW was the one, they wanna talk to both?
We normally will talk to both, we'll
Uh-huh.
invite both, and then you have to feel out that account manager to know, hey, do you wanna know every 5 minutes what's going on? Or do you want me to just let you know when it's done? And-
Meaning the account manager or the CDW?
Correct,
Okay.
correct, the
Okay.
Kim in this situation.
Right, right,
Okay, some, and they're all different,
Okay.
they all like to know different things,
mm-hmm,
okay? All right, it's gonna tell you if we require a PO, we're on the, second page, sales jobs. Require a PO, what is that PO number, okay? Then there's a billing section, okay? This is gonna tell you what you're billing per hour, okay? It'll also tell you any travel that you're gonna charge, okay? Great guide, love that they show that to you. However, the SOW is what's important. Okay, so if this is wrong on the sales to ops, okay, no big deal. SOW drives it. Okay, we do everything we do off of an SOW. Okay? Other important information that you're gonna glean off of here, most of this is standard. Blah, 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 blah. Contact information, that's gonna be it. Greg and Kim. Right, everything else stays completely the same every time they submit it, so it's not gonna be something that changes in your world. Okay? All right, so now you got those two documents, you're also gonna get an SOW, right?
yeah.
So you are gonna take that SOW.
And who does the SOW?
Sales does the SOW with the customer.
Okay.
Sales is responsible for getting it signed by the customer.
Okay, all right.
Okay. All right. So sales, sent that over, you got it, you got the customer number set up by contracts, you understand that SOW. Next step, contact the end user and the account manager, okay, or your contacts, and try to schedule a kickoff call, okay? We do not do anything without a kickoff call. Kickoff call is absolutely vital. Document says a bunch of things. Customers sign a bunch of legal documents. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what they really want. If we don't have a kickoff call, we don't have a chance to identify it. Okay? I will tell you, every kickoff call we do, we find some piece of information that we didn't know about. In the SOW, it doesn't say anything about background checks, but, oh, it's a hospital and they need us to go through 7-layer background checks. Oh, when you get on site, you gotta check in with a security guard, and it's gonna take you 45 minutes to get through security. Right? All these kind of crazy things. Every time we do a kickoff call, we find something that wasn't in the SOW.
So when that happens, obviously, it needs to have a change, and it
Yep.
needs to have a change form. And at that point, when we obviously are not skilled enough at that point or whatever to make the financial, changes, how long is it ideally that it is in your hands to get it back to us so that we can take care of that and start doing that all over again?
So you're taking that change order and you're sending it to CDW, right?
The change, no, because the change order obviously is gonna have a financial change, because if we're gonna be doing a background check, that's gonna be
Sure.
possibly being more. So if there is a change in financial status, then, and we're at that time not capable of making those changes, that is obviously gonna have to go through you.
Yeah, and that's a 20-second conversation.
So that is actually a verbal conversation?
Yeah, you come to
or-
me and say, hey, we're doing this, what's my hourly rate? I say $75 an hour.
Done, okay, wow,
Yeah, that's a real one.
okay, so you are here and,
Most of the
okay.
time.
okay,
Physically, not mentally.
okay,
Mentally, 3 days a week, I think.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's quick, right?
Right,
So you're gonna go through this kickoff document, we're gonna go through the document. If there's any change, which there will be, you're gonna document it in the change order. You're gonna send it to the CDW rep or to the partner rep, right? And have them get sign off. We wait.
we do not go directly through the end user because that is not who the contract is with, it's with the
Yeah.
CDW.
You got it.
Okay.
And you'll notice whenever you look at our contracts, right,
Mhm.
we're very specific to who are those contracts with, okay? Whoever our contract is with is who gets our change order.
How many times has it been sent to the end user on accident?
3 times, and all 3 times it's a big, huge problem.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd be pretty mad too if we found out the cost or
Because then I
whatever.
cut out CDW,
Yeah.
right? Because
Oh,
CDW
yeah.
is gonna take my 75, mark it up to 95. and
Absolutely,
sell it to the customer.
absolutely.
So
They're
I
gonna be
go-
really mad.
I go direct to the end user, I cut out that mark.
Mm-hmm.
What ends up happening is I have to lower my price. I have to lower my price.
Yeah. Bad. Okay,
Okay? We do not move forward with the project until we have the change order executed, signed, and delivered. Period. Okay?
then we do the kickoff call all over again,
Yes,
right?
yes. Do it all over again. If you have a kickoff call, a first run kickoff call, and you didn't find a change item,
Continue.
I question the validity of that kickoff call. I question if you asked enough questions.
Really?
It's that many changes.
I know
You
they
gotta remember, that SOW document, most of those SOW documents are done by Krista, the salesperson, and Jerry, the salesperson at Barrister. Sometimes Melissa, the end user, is on the phone. They're doing a million things while they're on that phone call. And so they rattle off what they think. Then when you go to actually do it, they remember, oh, wow, you're gonna have to do this to get on site. Oh, wow, we don't have any of the equipment. Oh, wow, we were supposed to do an install guide and didn't. all those things. I would
Okay.
say almost every kickoff call, unless it's something very vague and simple, right? We're just buying a guy for 2 weeks. Well, okay, there's not much to that, so maybe not, but if it's a specific scope, typically there's gonna be some level of change order.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So on this magical kickoff call, all right, we complete a document called the project implementation form, okay? It's this, also called the kickoff template in your little packets. Okay? And basically, everybody has their own style for kickoff calls. I'm fine with your own style for a kickoff call. However, you want to make sure that you cover each of the topics that are covered inside of this kickoff document.
And this is a fillable document inside that we can fill out?
Correct,
Okay.
correct, yep,
Okay.
okay? You gotta make sure you go through this process and can answer each one of these questions. If you can't, kickoff call wasn't successful, okay? And I promise you that's gonna be something that bites you in the butt afterwards.
Well, I wouldn't see how it's, hard not to follow the
Yeah.
directions when it's all right here.
Which is all right in front of you, okay?
Mhm.
Customer name, that's obvious, project name, customer number, partner name, purpose of project, relationship to other projects, okay? So relationship to other projects would be, hey, this is step one of a 3-step project, right? We're going on site and de-installing PCs. And then the next project, we're gonna go on site and install PCs. And the next project, we're gonna go on site and we are going to image the PCs, okay? So that would be what relationship to other projects. There typically are not other projects that are related, but it happens sometimes.
Like phases on a job.
Yeah, based on job, yep. All right, you wanna know the stakeholders, okay? These are the important people, okay? You're gonna identify the one for Barrister, you're gonna be the main contact, okay? Project manager is always the main contact, okay? Escalation level 1 is John, escalation level 2 is Debbie, okay? Scheduling contact is gonna be you, supplies and parts contact is gonna be you, invoice contact is gonna be me.
So it's gonna be you?
Scheduling contact is PM,
Scheduling is PM,
and
supplies and
is-
parts is you.
is PM,
PM.
and it is Jerry,
Yep.
and this is, you said Deborah, escalation?
Level 2 is Deborah,
Oh,
level 1 is John.
John, who's John?
Sorry, I screwed that up. Main contact is you, level 1 is me, level 2 is John, sorry.
Level 1 is you.
Yep, and then level 2 is John.
Yep. And you're also the invoice contact? Okay. And Deborah's not in there?
Deborah's not,
And what is John's,
COO,
he's a what?
Chief Operating Officer.
He is? I thought Deborah was a COO.
She's the CEO, Chief Executive Officer.
Oh, they didn't tell me that. Oh geez.
Oh geez.
I'm
I'm
No,
concerned
I
about
went in
what
there
you're
very
reducing
smooth.
about.
No, I was like, yeah, I don't get like nervous or anything, so if they would've told me CEO, I may have been a little bit more like intimidation, maybe just a tiny bit, but no.
Somebody will tell you these things.
Yeah, he did, she told me COO. She told me COO, so I thought, well, whatever, I didn't realize that she was the
Oh,
CEO. She was nice though, I really liked her, she was great, that's too funny.
Oh geez, she said.
But that explains why the verbiage that she used during the interview. Sorry.
All right, so then you're gonna get that for the partner. Okay, same information, and you're gonna get the same information for the end user.
The main contact, I'm sorry.
So you're gonna get the same information for the partner and for the end user.
Right, but the main contact, is that us?
Main contact for Barrister is gonna be you.
Right,
at the
okay,
end.
okay.
Main contact for the partner is gonna be whoever the partner rep
Right,
is.
right.
And then main contact for the end user will be whoever that.
Okay.
Okay, so you wanna complete that, so that way you have kinda like a little contact list.
Okay,
Think
and
about that.
do we also have to find out who their escalation level 1 is?
Most definitely, yeah, you'd fill this whole thing out for them,
You would ask them all this information to find out who do I go to?
most definitely.
Okay,
And then what you wanna do, the way I always phrase it is, hey guys, I wanna make sure I build a good contact list.
okay,
You know, on our side, I'll be your main contact, I'll serve as your main contact as well as scheduling for any
Mhm.
parts that are needed. I'm gonna go ahead, or would you mind sending me after the call, who the contacts are for these different roles? And that's fine.
and the invoice contact, would that be the ARC?
Yeah, on the part, that would only be on the group that we're invoicing, right? So for partner,
CW.
you wouldn't have it for end user typically, you'd have
Right,
it for
for
partner.
CDW?
And then for partner, it's gonna be their AP person.
Okay.
And their AP person is easy, it's TSA at CDW.com.
But this is not just, this is not for, just for CDW, this is the,
Yeah,
the
this is
rough
for any-
template for anybody?
For any
Okay.
project, yeah, for any project.
Okay.
But not every project's gonna have the end user on the line, right? Like NCR,
Right, if we don't contact the end user,
Yeah.
no, right? And just like with CDW, sometimes the account manager or the partner rep will tell you, I don't care, I don't need to be involved, you guys could go without me.
Right.
Okay, and then it's just us and the end user. Okay.
Who's paying us wants, right?
Yeah, so, doesn't necessarily matter who's paying us in terms of who's on the call. So when we do a kickoff call, we're gonna invite whoever our contacts are, okay? So for a CDW one, we're gonna have partner and we're gonna have an end user contact. For an NCR call, we're only gonna have a partner contact. For Beam Team, we're only gonna have a partner contact. So you can only invite the people you know of, right? Then once you send that invite out or that request for a kickoff call, if you would, people will respond and they'll say, okay, I'm available this day, this day, this day. If the partner rep says, hey, I'm fine, you know, you guys, I'm not available that day, you guys go without me, no problem, go without them.
Okay.
If they say, wait for me, then wait for me, right? But you can't do it, in that engagement, you can't do it without the end user, or at least one person to tell you what's going on, okay, and what's needed. For the CDW ones, our rule has always been we need to talk to the end user, because the account rep, to be honest, doesn't know what the customer wants.
Right.
Okay, they don't have a good understanding. So we wanna make sure we talk to that end user to make sure we pick out all those things he forgot to tell everybody about.
Are there times when, since the chain is kind of three steps, since we're kind of the third, since there is a middleman here, which would theoretically be CDW, but if it was somebody else, is there times when, the person who's paying us, which is the middleman, does not want the end user to know that they're contracting it out and we're not part of CDW?
Yes.
For example?
Most definitely,
Yeah.
so that happens with NCR and Beam Team. So
Okay.
with NCR and Beam Team, we don't talk to the end user.
Right.
We only talk to NCR and Beam Team.
Okay,
So that would just be us and them.
okay. And then they actually control they gather the information for us as far as, when our technicians are to be there and all that other stuff. Does that ever pose a problem? Or are they pretty good on top of, you know, having knowledge about what is needed to be done?
No, it can most definitely cause a problem, and that's when we need a change order.
Okay.
So they say, oh yeah, the customer wants you there at 2, and we show up at 2 and there's no equipment.
Mhm.
Change order.
How are their project managers as far as?
Depends.
Okay.
NCR, they're usually pretty good.
Mhm.
Beam Team, not so good.
Okay.
Megan, would you agree?
Yep.
Mhm. I forget she's on the phone. I forget she's here.
All right, so you're gonna try to define what's in scope. So usually what I would do is I would review in very easy sentences the bullets of what we're going to go do.
The project scope or the installation scope?
Both. What are we going to do? in that little section right there, you should be able to define everything we're responsible for doing. Okay? It's very important to remember though, right here, that just because you put it in the in-scope field in the project implementation form, doesn't mean the customer's authorized it. Doesn't mean we have a change order. Right? So if you put something in scope and it's not in the SOW, you gotta go get a change order.
Which is what I was looking at, right?
Yeah.
Right. So at that point, when they start, we go over everything, that's when they add things, that's when this would pretty much halt and then do that change form.
Yeah, you get that change order form. What
Right.
I would do is I'd continue through the call, through everything, make sure you identify all the necessary changes.
Uh-huh.
And you leave that call with, okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and document all these changes we discussed, put it in a change order form. Kim, I'll have that to you here later by the end of the day
Right.
today, so that way you can go ahead and get that to her.
Gotcha. I will not ask you any questions.
Oh,
No, good question. Okay, you're also gonna ask the start and end date, how many hours are needed, right? Expected number of service orders, so typically a customer's not gonna know that, you'd have to judge that based on, you need a service call per location, you need a service call per week, and some other parameters, per week, per location. Those are probably my two big ones. So based on how many weeks and how many locations would determine how many service orders. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Number of technicians needed per event, okay? So some of our events are only gonna call for one, some are gonna call for 2, 3, 4, however many, okay? Some can be optional, okay? For example, we're doing one right now for Central, we talked about it earlier, Children's Hospital, Central County, right? And we need to survey 8,900 assets, or inventory 8,900 assets, okay? I can send one guy to do 8,900 assets over 6 weeks. I can send 2 guys and do it in 3 weeks. I can send 6 guys and do it in 1 week. Which one do you want, right?
Right.
Or which one's in the scope?
And do you put that in,
Just a second. This is Jerry. I'm doing good, Roxanne. Listen, I've seen that you called several times today. However, I'm sitting in a training and I'm working on training some other resources. As soon as I get free from my training, I'll go ahead and give you a call, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye. Remind me not to date her.
hey Jerry, don't date her.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so sometimes it's up to the customer, right? The number of technicians you need, right? How fast do you want me to do it, right? There's no impact to me, I'm billing $75 an hour. So whether you want 6 guys for 1 week or 1 guy for 6 weeks, no difference to me, I don't care. Sometimes it'll be stated in the document, right? Of how many technicians and how often, how fast, right? So it completely depends on the project, but if it's not stated in the SOW, we wanna define it right here. Right? We want to give that guidance right here, so that way now it's locked in, we know what we're doing.
so do we have the power as project managers to go, okay, well, we know that we can get this guy over 6 weeks because that's a long term and do $75 an hour, but we know that we can get 6 people and because it's only week-long stuff at $50, because it's more of a short-term process, is that something that happens?
Yeah, most definitely, I'd flip it though. You're gonna get a better rate from a guy if you employ him for 6 weeks than you would if you employ 6 guys for 1 week.
Really?
Yeah, buying volume, same thing as Walmart, Sam's, right? You're buying in volume. You're giving him 6 weeks of committed work as compared to only giving him 1 week of committed work.
So these guys want committed work,
Oh yeah, most definitely, because that's how they make their money, right? Otherwise, if you only come to me for 1 week, think about it as you're a job seeker, right? One job offers you a week employment, the other job offers you 6 weeks. Well, one job I'm gonna make 1 week worth of money, on this job I'm gonna make 6 weeks worth of money. They both offering the same amount of money. I want this one.
So these technicians are not like always busy.
No, that's why they're working for us,
Ah,
right?
gotcha.
Not fully committed,
Gotcha,
right? They
okay,
got availability.
all right, okay.
So, but you ask you make a good point. At the end of the day, I hold my project managers to profit percentages, right? So you're responsible for maintaining the bill and the cost, right? And keeping that inside of realm, inside of, you know, our profit percentages. So at the end of the day, if you can go save money, go save money,
Right.
right? And do it the cheapest, you know, do it the cheapest and most effective way you can. But typically, especially when it comes to count of text, a customer's gonna have some sort of preference in terms of how fast they wanna do it, right? When a customer comes to us with something, they're gonna have some general idea, I wanna do it in a week, or, oh no, I got 6 weeks, take your time. You know what I mean? They'll give us some guidance, and then we'll be able to go back to them and say, okay, here's how fast I can do it.
Do we have access to the databases of how much these guys have signed on and contracted for in the price range?
In terms of rates,
Yeah,
rates are negotiated every single dispatch,
okay.
so there is no fixed rate.
We can pull up, and we have access to pull up on Google Maps or whatever and find out how far realistically they are from the location and kind of go, oh, well, you're like a mile away, so,
I'm paying you less, and the guy is 200 miles away.
right,
Yeah,
okay,
most definitely. Now,
Okay.
really, that's dispatcher's job, right?
Okay.
Dispatch does that.
okay,
Project management owns the project,
okay,
okay?
Right.
And dispatch would work with you to kind of coordinate that. When you get this document, when you get your project, so, let me back up. So, every project we get, we determine pay, right? So pay is variable. So in the commercial world, pay is fixed, 45 flat.
okay,
Right? In the project world, it's variable based on the project, okay? Based on the project we do and the scope of work that we're getting, what we bill is gonna be determined. Based on what we bill, we determine what we pay.
So so the project managers have, so because there's commercial and there continues to still be commercial, correct? Does the project area rather than commercial have, kind of like our own set of dispatchers that, rather than being, so that does happen?
Yeah, you do have your own dispatchers.
Okay.
Shared technicians, but
Right.
your own dispatchers. Most definitely your own dispatchers.
Okay,
Okay? And you're responsible for coordinating with those dispatch resources. Hey, guys, we're billing $100 flat for this project. We can only pay $30, right? 30% is our number. We pay 30%, whatever we bill. So if we're billing $10 an asset, we pay $3 an asset. If we're billing $25 an hour, then we pay $15, what's that? $250, $750 an hour.
alright. So I remember earlier you said that you would, you pretty much put the project manager and you put all these people together on the project. Before they start contacting people and everything, is it like kind of, like an open discussion of
Yes.
rates and things like that?
Yes, that happens.
So they don't just run on their own and everybody
Right.
kind of communicates
Right.
openly?
Yeah, that happens after this. So
Okay.
after the kickoff call
Mhm.
is then getting the information in the service call and getting your team going.
Okay,
All right, swivel seat required. So that's a question of whether or not we have to update another customer's system, okay? So for some of our customers, we have to update their system just like we update our own system.
It's like QuickBase.
QuickBase, yeah. Okay, so you have to understand there whether or not that's required, okay? All right, so now into the specific questions about the scope, okay? Field support. First of all, is field support required, okay? Is it GCC, remote infrastructure? Then no field support is required. If field support is required, then we take field support, okay? Technician pay rate, what are our payment terms, i.e. per unit, per hour, per site, right, per asset, whatever it may be, okay? Estimated time on site, gonna complete there, how long we think it's gonna take on site. Level of knowledge needed, okay? Is this a basic desktop guy, is this a server engineer? right? Then you're gonna list out the tools, okay? You're gonna go through with the customer, hey, our guys are gonna show up with a basic tool set, which includes like a screwdriver and, you know, some gloves. Anything else they need? If yes, who's providing them? Oh, we need you guys to provide them. Okay, does it say that in the SOW? No. Change order. Make sense?
Yes, it does. Up to the field support where it says technician pay rate and
Okay.
payment terms,
Yep.
because we don't want them to know what we're paying.
Right, you're not gonna talk about that, but you
That's
will
something that's
complete it
skipped?
on this document. This document doesn't leave this building.
Right, but since we're doing a conference call
Mhm.
for this, we just skip through that part?
Right,
Okay.
you wouldn't ask that.
Okay,
Same thing with estimated time on site if you already know.
right, this whole
Right.
area, other than the tools required.
Correct. Are resumes needed? So does the customer require seeing resumes before these technicians come on site? Is there any special training required? Any special clearances required? Talked about that earlier, like with background checks, right? Special requirements for building access? Yeah, they got to, you know, access, you know, a security guard and, you know, page this person to get access to the building. Right? That's all special requirement. A badge, do we need a badge when we show up on site? Do we need access to special software? Are manuals available? Does tech have to go anywhere besides the site? So does tech have to go to a depot to pick up something and then show up at site, right? Does the tech have to contact anyone other than Barrister? So on most